segregation.
Excuse me, let's hear from Susie on this, because Brazil's got a special point of view, I'm sure.
No, what they wanted to say is that he was telling her that she has discrimination. She's telling him
Segregation, not
I'm
discrimination.
sorry, segregation. And she's telling him that he has a kind of segregation too. And he won't admit it.
I did. I just told you first of all. How did you happen to know
You
it?
consider
I
your
told you.
segregation different.
Yeah.
Yes, because you're all different.
Well, what's it like in Brazil, Susie?
Well, my country has a very good point, a point of advantage in that, because we have no segregation at all. And we could be in the same position as the United States, because we had slaves just the same as they did, just about the same time as they did. Only our country was a colony of Portugal, the United States was a colony of England. The Englands are Anglo-Saxons, the Portuguese are Latins. And the Latin race, how do you say, mingles very easily. So there were marriages between black and white. They form mulattoes, which are not black and are not white. They mingle and mingle and mingle. So now we don't have black and white. We have all sorts of colors, from white to very black, with light brown in between. And in Brazil, there's just no question if that person has a little Negro blood, like here in the States. He has 1/8 of Negro blood, he's considered a Negro. He has 1/16, he's considered white. We just don't have it. You look at the person, look at another one, they're people. That's what's different. And I wanted to ask you something, Rena. You say there's a great segregation in your country.
That's right.
And in your country, do you have prejudices against the black people?
Well, I wouldn't actually say prejudices. Perhaps I should just explain this to you. Everybody seems to have heard of apartheid during the last few months, years. And I think it's perhaps misinterpreted in most instances. I'll tell you what apartheid actually means. It means the development of two separate racial groups within their own areas. And Susie, you just now, you said that there is no discrimination whatsoever in Brazil. Could you just tell me more or less, are there more whites or more blacks in Brazil?
There are more whites.
There are
But
more whites?
yes, there are more whites. But you can say white and black. White
Oh,
and
yes.
not white.
Oh, yes.
Because the blacks aren't just black, they're all colors, as I told you. Because the whites marry very easily with the black and with the Indians. In Brazil, that
yes.
happens very much. So they just, we just don't count blacks and whites, just people, you know.
For instance-
It's very different from your country.
For instance, would you marry a
A
Black one? I think that I personally wouldn't marry a black one, because my parents wouldn't approve of it.
And you,
That
don't you think
means-
that's a little bit of discrimination?
It is.
I'm
means
sure.
On my
Actually
part, I
segregation.
wouldn't. But I'm not a real Brazilian because my parents are Swiss. But the real
Oh,
Brazilian,
yes, they would.
yes, they would. And they do. They do very often. They do it all the time, in fact. Yes, there's really no discrimination in this. But now, let me come back to the question. You
Fine.
said you have a kind of prejudice in your country. Do you have it here? Do you feel any prejudice against a black person here? Do you feel kind of awkward?
Oh, no, not in the least. For instance, I think that integration in America is perfectly right. And I think it should be done. And therefore I approve of it. But I just don't see how integration would work in South Africa, at least not for the present. For in South Africa, it's 3 million whites against 12 million. Whilst in America, it's altogether different. And I'm quite assured that the present policy that we follow is going to be the solution of the problem at last. Actually, I hope
Could
so.
you imagine the Brazilian problem having been solved like that?
No, it
Why not?
doesn't. It won't ever work. Because people are people. They can't be separated. You stay here, you stay here. You are white, you are black. You can't. Are you God to judge what they have to do, where they have to stay? You have to go in those schools, they have to go in those schools. You marry with this one, she marries that one. No.
No, it's not a question of who is God and who's going to judge, but it's a civilization against a civilization. After all, it is the white South Africans that have built up South Africa to where it is
With the
now.
help of whom?
With the help of the other, but with
Who
the
did the heavy
supervision.
work?
With the
The black.
supervision of the.
It has to be so excited, you know.
Oh yes, perhaps it should, but I don't know. After all, it's not fair to think that South Africans should just quit all their good work right here. For instance, I couldn't tell what is going to happen in future, but I think for the present time, there is no other solution. For what would you think?
Well, I think that people have a right to live as they want to. I think you can't put a barrier between people. Let them go and do as they wish to. If they want to go to your schools, let them. If they don't want to, okay.
I'm sorry, our time's up, and you're just beginning to get into the interesting part of the discussion. It's a good note to end on that you gave us, Susie. People are people. In a brief summary, I think I've learned a couple of things tonight. I've learned a little bit more about Ethiopians' racial background. I've learned something about schools in Europe these days, and the fact that they don't teach current history. We may do a little more talking about schools.